I want you to see the build-up and production of what would be a cover for a menu uh, for a particular restaurant. Now, in this case, I want to make my screen a little bigger, and I've got a lot of palettes over here, and the layers are going to be pretty large. So I'm going to hit the upper dark bar here on the character paragraph stroke, and it makes it smaller, reduces itself down in size so that I can get it out of the way. I'm going to put my colors down here a little lower, and then I can open up my layers a bit bigger so that you can see them. I'm working with a small screen so that it is applicable to anybody who opens this up. Usually I'll have a little larger screen to see from, but here is the finished menu cover, and I'm going to make it as large as I can. I hit Command plus to make it larger. Command negative jumps it down in size. Now, this is the finished piece, and I want you to see it. I'm going to back up on this just so you can see how all this is put together. If I turn off all the layers over here, I'm going to come with a white area, and the first thing I put up there is the guide layers, and here's the guides now forming the outside of my menu area. And when I come in then with my borders, and we've seen borders being made, then I've got the borders are, here's that quarter portion of the border that was made and then enlarged to the half, and then the top half to the bottom half. I've got a black shape here with a gray background, and then they all come together around the piece, so that originally was the gray, and I think I can select it just with there's the black part and there's the gray part, and of course it goes through the whole deal, even though it's been see, it's only half of that one and half of this one because I just joined them together. I didn't actually join them with Pathfinder, but for our purposes they are tight and close and together, so you can see half of this and half of that. So that's the borders layer. Now I do have a background color that is the entire shape of the menu, and it's a light beige, light brown. I do have two crosshatch. I have this one that's horizontal, and I have this one that is diagonal, so the darker brown lines are running the diagonal. Now I'm doing that just so that it's a little more interesting in the background, not big and dominant and yellowy, look at me, look at me, look at me, but just a subtle change of colors to put that together. I have two animals associated with this pizza parlor. It's called Mama Gecko's Jungle Pizza. Now that's a trendy type restaurant, an ambiance of design on the inside that matches what the menu is going to look like, or the menu matches what the restaurant, how it's decorated and how the ads are made and all the marketing things that go into this. But I have this lizard and I have this one that's colored, both of which have been worked over in Illustrator and cut and striped and colored. And I'm going to go though with the more black and white that resembles the shapes that are out here in the border. And then there's a layer that has the lettering to it, and that is Mama Gecko Jungle Pizza. And so I have lettering, I have lizard, I have border, I have the two background, the cross hatching and the color background, and that comes all together as a single entity for the printing of the menu cover. I'll turn the guides off and you can see here's what it looks like. Maybe drop it down just a space. This is what it's going to look like when it's all finished off. And the final version of this is going to be flattened out and taken through the printing process. I'm not worried about that at the moment, but this is how it's going to look when it gets all through. And that's why controlling the borders. I have another lettering thing over here that I'll show you how I made the lettering. I made these shapes. They look like little candy corn shapes, all orange. And I just pulled these shapes together, like here's the M with one going this way, a shorter one, and a longer one. And the A and the G, and they're just made out of these shapes. Put them on this circle so I could get them arched, and then I put an outline behind them. And then Jungle Pizza, the same lettering pieces put together only on a straight line, and added a gray background to that as well. So this is sort of a work area over here so I can see what I'm doing, but when I got through with that I just turn it off so you can't see it when you're looking at the final. And here is then the final piece that's a sample for you to look at and to see, all right, that's how it's put together. That's how I can do these layers to use for my benefit. Now if I wanted to work on the lizard, for example, I could turn off everything that's not a lizard and work the lizard, or once I finish the lizard, work the border. But eventually I put everything back together that's going to be on the final version, and away we go. So I wanted you to see that so that not necessarily have to make it for a project, although if you wanted to try it on your own, drawing and cutting and outlining and that sort of thing, be my guest.